Hello and welcome to the Deep South Experience, and this is episode 2 of Backyard Bush Lab, where I'm refining some pine resin down to make some glue. And right now I'm outside shooting this after the fact, because when I went to download my video, my opening clip wasn't there, and I don't know if I didn't have the camera on or I lost it, accidentally deleted it. It's one of the problems I have with this doing everything on an iPhone. It gets kind of difficult at times. So I'm just going to briefly describe what happened at the beginning. And last week I had tried to refine some pine sap down by just lighting it on fire and having all the sap run through a screen into a bowl, and then making a mold out of it. This week what I did was I heated it up in a bowl and then I strained it. So most of what was in the opening clip of me starting was just me putting everything in the pot and getting it ready to boil down. So I hope it's pretty self-explanatory, and I apologize if the scenes don't flow together too good. A lot of things were happening, and I was doing this by myself, trying to shoot it, and even went back to see if I had the fire episode. I had a good fire going. I thought it was, one of those explosion minutes, and I wished I'd have had it on film, but I didn't. But anyway, it was fun, and it was a learning experience for me, and I hope you enjoy it, or at least learn something. Y'all take care. See there, it's started to melt down pretty good now. I had to turn the flame down. I found that if the flame was too high, that it would actually catch the sap on fire inside the pot. And I think the slow method would be much better anyway. Betterer. But it looks like it's going to work good at this point. As you can see now, it's melted down real good. I just put some more in there. I want to make sure I've got enough to do what I want with it. I started with probably half of this gallon bag full, so it melts down pretty small. I'm almost done. Put some gloves on because this stuff is hot. Do not want to be getting it on me. Be safe. It's got some pretty big pieces of bark in it. I'm going to go ahead and take out. Oh, no, I'm not. I don't want to lose that resin that's on it. I don't think it's going to get any soupier than that. Just hope it doesn't get cold before it gets through there. Wish I'd gotten a smaller container now. I had to find something cheap and disposable. Now, that's going to make a good fire starter if it lights. If all the volatiles aren't out of it, I can make that into something right there. I still may not have enough to do what I want with it. Oh, it gets cold too quick. It gets cold way too quick. Well, as you can see, putting it in the plastic container, all it did was cool off too quick. Now the good news is that it got brittle and it just pops loose, so I can remelt it. And that's been refined, so that's good. For the remainder, I want to see if I can kind of do like a boil method and heat this up and strain it that way. Get back. I made some discoveries. This double boiler method like this did not work that well. What happened was it got too hot. I couldn't get it hot enough to melt through the strainer. So I turned the temperature up and then everything caught on fire, as you can see. So I went ahead and poured what was in here into the Altoids tin. And I did the Altoids tin different this time. I'll show you that later. As you'll notice, this stuff is black because it burned. The original batch that I strained is gold. That's what I'm looking for. The gold stuff. Now what I discovered by accident was by pouring it in here, it's very flexible and it just broke off into chips, real brittle. It just broke off into chips real easy, and I got it into that, which I can melt down one more time for the mold. Get back with you. What I'm doing now is I'm melting down the remainder of what I've got, because it's obvious that you never have as much as you think you do after you melt it down to do what you want to do with it. And while that's melting down, I'll show you the first batch. I put it in Altoids tin, lined it in foil so it wouldn't leak, because what I did was I cut slits on the edges so that I could spread it. If you remember last week, what happened was it wouldn't come out of the form because of that lip. So this week, let's open it up a little bit, hunched over the camera. And voila, it came out pretty good. And there's my little block of pine resin, burnt on top, but golden on the bottom. Well, that was what I wanted last week. So I'll get back with you when I get done. part. Fire and stuff previous between two last shots. But this is the remainder. I had to move because my battery died and I had to hook it up to the extension cord. But this is the remainder of what I've melted down, and I have not purified yet. I'm going to strain it and see it's gold, it's not black. And I found you got to do this quickly. Before it gets hard, because it gets hard pretty rapidly. And I'm sure there's an easier way to do this. I just haven't found it yet. I can see why Matt at Pinewood CH did his method, because this just does not want to strain through here very good, and that stuff was hot a moment ago. But the good news is stuff in here is really good for fire starter. So that's really all I got out of it, and that's not a whole lot. But I'm gonna let it cool off so I can break it up into pieces. Okay, from the first batch, that's how much I got out. That's probably maybe a little over a cup. This is the second batch. It's in the plastic, and hopefully it'll pop right out. Yep. That's a pretty good patty right there. But I'm going to melt this down too. I'll show you why. But that's the refined product. See how golden it is? It's not blackened. Still got a lot of the good resin in there, and it's very flammable. If it wasn't for something I was about to do, I'd just go ahead and leave it like this. But I want to refine it down to one more process. Got it pretty much down to where I want it. Soupy. Okay, I want to thank Mr. Scooty 1968, and I think it was Florida Louise, for suggesting that I use silicone ice trays. So I've refined it down to that. It's nice and gold. It's not blackened. And I'm going to let it cool down, and we'll see what we finally got. Okay, this is taking much longer than I thought it was, and I'm losing light fast. I went and put this in a refrigerator to cool it down quicker. One thing I've noticed was when I heated it up, it was foaming. Instead of being more of a gelatin, it was a foam. I put it in here as a when it was a foam, and you can see how it's sunk and stuff like that, so it's not solid. So that's a lesson learned right there. Next time I let it cool down a little bit. So I mean, the trick is heating it up slowly so it doesn't burn off the volatiles, and then not get it so hot that it foams up like this. But if you don't get it hot, then it doesn't pour well. So I mean, you know, catch 22 on that. But let's see how it comes out of the forms. So, you know, they're not as pretty as I wanted them. I wish they would have been, you know, like that all around. But, you know, they came out broken. But it still gave me the product I want. So now I can just, you know, melt down just a little bit I want to make glue out of. So, I'm going to turn on the light just to get a little bit more light out here. Here's some, here's my finished product on everything. And before I get this, I want to give out some thanks. Mr. Scooty 1968, Florida Louise, and also to General Banner for suggesting cleaning up with isopropyl alcohol. It does work good for cleaning up your knife blades. And my light went off because it's motion sensor. One more time. After the second time, it's okay. Now, this is more or less what I was after last week. This is what I was after this week. You can see the color difference. I think this is going to be a much better product. Doesn't look that good, but still, it's the product that counts. It's going to get melted down anyway. The byproducts are this. This is the part that did not go through the strainer. These chunks right here. And what you can use these for if the wind wasn't blowing. The wind's blowing too much. It worked perfectly a while ago while I was testing it. I guess if you're out in the woods, food is supposed to getting hot. The wind's going to be blowing out there too in an emergency. There you go. But see, now you got a good fire starter, and that's just with the byproduct of what was left over and didn't get strained. Other lessons learned. Make sure that you got something to put on top if it catches on fire. Also, I suggest using something that's got a handle instead of pliers. It's a lot easier to work with. Stainless steel works great. It's going to be a lot easier to clean up. I'll be using this in the future. Wife women won't get mad at me because I'll be using it for bush lab stuff. This plastic, which I didn't think was going to work because it cooled off so fast, worked great because it just popped loose easily. The strainer, trashed. I used it 3 times, and I guess the heat just tore it up. But anyway, That's my backyard bush lab for this week. It was a learning experience, and that's what it was all about. I'm sure there's easier and better ways to do this. I tried not to watch any videos other than the ones I had watched previous to this, because I want it to be a learning experience for me, and if it was a fail, I wanted it to be a fail. You know, I'm just learning, so trying to learn through my mistakes. But if you stayed with me through the whole video, I very much appreciate it. And peace, take care, stay strange.